Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, I'm sitting on the doormat again tonight because it just stopped pouring down rain, and I actually have my seat cushion over here. It's like all up because, I don't know if you can see it. It won't come out of my chair. Hold on a second. I have it like leaned up so that it can dry off. So I have the, because it's so, can you see it's soaking wet? I'm hoping that it'll dry off some of that. Maybe later, I'm actually gonna put this over here so that maybe later I can watch some shows out here. Last night I was grateful that it dried off enough so I could watch some shows, but it's actually much cooler out tonight. So I don't know that it's gonna dry off in time for me to watch shows, but even last night, even as dry as it got, I sat down in my sweat shorts and it soaked my sweat shorts. So, but I was determined to watch some shows last night. So we just got back from our marriage counseling session, and as I was pulling up in my Uber, it was kind of cloudy today, but it wasn't like horrible. I didn't know that it was even supposed to rain. And as I pulled up to our counseling session in the Uber, well, I guess I took Lyft today, I could see like it was like so dark outside, and I was like, it is gonna really start raining. And then I walked into the session, and our therapist was like, did you get soaked? And I was like, no, it hasn't started yet. And then we came out, and he was like, you guys can wait, because he was like the last one. He was like, you guys can wait if you want, like if it's still raining. And we're like, no, it just stopped. It looks like it just stopped. But like everything is soaking wet around here. So anyway, I'm home, and oh, I was just getting ready to get on Piata and order. I just like signed on to DoorDash. It was like signing on while I was, hold on a second, while I was, see all this, I was like making sure that it was like still on. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm gonna order this pasta and then avocado piata with no grill item and no arugula, no pancetta. Okay, so got all of that. Check out, add the tip. Last night it said it was going to take me like 55 or 58 minutes, and it was here like real quick, so I don't know how long it's supposed to be here today. We'll see. As soon as it gets, the order goes through, it'll tell me how long it's going to be until it gets here. 24 to 41 minutes. I bet it won't take me that long. So when the food gets here is when I will stop vlogging today. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but anyway, so yeah, we went to our marriage counseling session. We had a really good marriage counseling session today. We've been doing these questions, these cognitive behavioral therapy questions about marriage, and they're just like questions to like improve your intimacy and conversation skills with each other and like listening, active listening and things like that. So they're questions like, if you could live like one day over with your partner, like what day would it be? Or like what's the thing that you admire most about your partner? And then you like share it, and then that person shares theirs, and then you kind of have like a discussion about it and stuff like that. So we had a really good session today. And then Alex said that he had stuff here to eat, so he didn't need anything, and I was like, I'm gonna order piata, do you want anything? He was like, no, I don't want any piata. So I don't know what he's gonna make, probably chicken fingers or a salad or something like that. So anyway, hi, how are you? I haven't, like, today my plan was to make a bunch of videos, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I stayed up so late last night, and I had kind of a hard time falling asleep last night. Not a super hard time, but but my sleep was kind of restless last night. Usually when I fall asleep, I stay asleep for a while, but last night it was kind of restless. I kept on waking up. So I didn't get great sleep, and I woke up today, and I was still kind of tired. And I had this video for my Peter Monn channel that I wanted to make, which I will let you guys go check out. If you watch my vlog, and you've watched my vlog for any period of time, I think, even if you don't watch my drama channel, I think that this would be a video that you would be interested in. So I would ask that you go watch this video. It would really mean a lot to me. It's a very important and very serious video. So please go watch that video. But anyway, so I got up today and made the bed and was like washing my face. I trimmed my beard, and I even said in my video, I was like, there's always like, whenever I like sit down to film a serious video, not even serious videos, but like any video, there's always like one hair right here or one hair hanging off my face. And I was like, I hope that that's not the case today and there was no distraction. And I just looked in the mirror to make sure that there was like nothing. And so I filmed the video, and when I was watching it back, there was like one hair hanging off of my chin, like here, I don't know what side, but anyway. And then like it fell onto my shirt, and then it stayed on my shirt, and it kind of like kept, I was like, oh my god, there's always a hair somewhere. So anyway, I trimmed my beard, and then I shaved my neck and like right here and around here. And I mean, this doesn't ever fill in. I just like trim this part right here because it just like gets like, you know, a little bit, but it doesn't ever fill in. So I trimmed my beard and brushed my teeth, or trimmed my beard, shaved, and brushed my teeth. And then I did a load of laundry, which I put in the dryer. I was trying to find something cute to wear to this session, but I got caught up talking to my neighbors. I was talking to the old president about what had happened at the pool the other day, and about somebody using the pool that didn't live in the neighborhood, and he was like, oh no, you weren't the only one that complained about that, which I thought was interesting. And so he was like, yeah, you need to take that to the president of the HOA board, and it's like a huge issue, and a lot of people are using the pool that are using like their neighbors' cards and things like that, and we need to really like break down on it. And he's like, I'm gonna start asking people to take the directories up to the pool, and then when there's people that are at the pool that you've never seen before, to ask them like, now where do you live in the neighborhood, just to kind of like check it out and whatever. And I was like, I don't love being that confrontational. And he was like, well, I understand that. He was like, but we've got to do something. So he and his wife said that for every household you can take 4 guests to the pool. And he said for a couple of years now they've been trying to change that because it's such a small pool, and 4 guests is a lot, plus like 2 people that live in a house, so it's like 6 people at a pool. And if you had just 3 condos in here that had 6 people, I mean, you know, that would be 18 people at the pool. The pool's not that big, you know. So we talked about that. My neighbor across the street, she was talking about it too. And then I was talking to them about the firework that went off. Apparently, like, that was a big issue. Like, a lot of people have been talking about it in the neighborhood because they could see it, like, all over the neighborhood. I thought I saw it to the right. My neighbor across the street, she said she was, like, on her back patio, and she could see it, like, out of her back patio. And I was like, well, that's weird because I saw it go off over here. And so then we were wondering if there was, like, maybe 2 that went off. But apparently it was, like, a huge deal. And they never found out if it was, like, necessarily like a firework, which is what I thought it was. So I don't know, but a lot of people have been talking about it in here, and they've been trying to find out like who it was. And I was like, well, I can tell you who it was because I could hear them on the street talking about it. So I pointed to the house, and like they knew who it was and whatever. And he's like, well, I'm gonna talk to those people over there and find out like what's really going on and whatever. So anyway, they're just really nice, really caring people. So because of all that, and then I filmed my video and uploaded my video. I just didn't have time to film any other videos. I had all these videos I wanted to film today. I had a Peterisms video I wanted to film, and I had a hold on just a second. I had a Peterisms video that I wanted to film, and I had a review video. I was gonna do the Kit Kat cone, and then I had a Peter Does Stuff video because I got some stuff in the mail that I had ordered that I was gonna show, and then the video for my Peter Monn channel, and then my vlog, and then I also wanted to do my book club announcements, and I didn't get to any of those videos. All I got done was my the video for my Peter Monn channel, and now I'm vlogging. And mostly the reason I'm vlogging is because I didn't film any other videos on any of my other channels, and so I wanted to make sure that I got that done. So hold on just a second. Aww. This is from Gemma, who is one of the, she's one of the moderators. I'm not going to read her message, but it's very sweet, being supportive about my video that I made on my Peter Monn channel today. Thank you so much, Gemma. I will message you back here in just a little bit. Being very supportive and asking if I need any help with anything. So yeah, I don't want to get into it in this video again because I said my piece in that video, but basically it's just about the extreme lengths that people have gone to make my life a living hell for the last few years by contacting my vet, and I mentioned some of this on here from time to time, but like contacting Melissa's rescue organization, emailing Tanya, doxing Tanya's business records, contacting my family members, I mean, it's like every person in my life, contacting doctors of mine, following my doctors on social media, following all of my family members on social media, on and on and on. So anyway, I did a video kind of talking about that. And what's so crazy about it is that so many people are like, oh my God, Peter, like, this is so unbelievable. And when I tell you that I probably only shared about 1/10 of what is actually out there that I've gone through, like, there is so much more that if I ever got in a video and I really went into depth about, I mean, like, there's so much more, right? Like, I didn't even talk about, like, so many things that, I mean, so many, like, threatening emails that I have received, and I'm not even talking just about, like, you know, like, haters saying, like, do harm to yourself, those kinds of things. In all honesty, like, I don't even really get those kind of comments. I mean, really threatening messages about, like, you know, I said this back in the day, like, when I would vlog at night, when then people would say, you better watch yourself as you walk out your driveway and whatever, because, I mean, I used to get those kinds of emails from people and stuff like that, but I'm talking about really scary stuff, you guys, where they, like, know, like, every move that we make and whatever, and it's really bizarre to me, and it's very personal, and so I finally had enough, and I was like, I need to speak up about it, and I don't think it's going to end everything. I mean, even since this video has come out, they've tweeted more stuff out and said more stuff, so, you know, a lot of people were commenting and saying, like, you need to take some legal action and whatever, and I have talked to an attorney. I've talked to an attorney for a while now. I mean, it wasn't just like I talked to an attorney yesterday. Like, I mean, we have an attorney, you know, a family attorney, and then they, you know, recommended, like, an entertainment attorney. I have several friends of mine that are entertainment attorneys that work in the business that I've consulted with and things like that. And I've also talked to several attorneys here in Indianapolis that are very well versed in cyber stalking, cyber harassment, and just harassment in general. I mean, you know, very scary things I've had to do. Like, I've had to contact the police and make some complaints, because in case I ever needed them to come to my house, I want them to know, like, what's going on. And so, like, all of that is out there. I think I've even actually said that in videos before on my vlog. So, you know, I mean, I do take it very, very seriously, but I did a whole video talking about that. So please go watch that video. And Gemma, I really appreciate your support on that. It means a lot to me. So many people are leaving really, really supportive comments, and it just is unbelievable. It means a lot to me. So anyway, got that video up, and I wanted to take a shower before I left to go to our appointment, but I didn't have enough time, because by the time that I got everything done and talked to my neighbors and all that kind of stuff and fed Boo Radley, it was like 5:15, and I needed to be leaving, like, in an Uber, or, well, I got a Lyft today, because the Uber was, like, so far out, so I ended up ordering a Lyft, and it was, like, there in, like, 10 minutes, and I got to our appointment, like, right as the appointment started. I think I was there, like, our appointment started at 6, and I think I, like, pulled up, like, at 6 or something like that. So anyway, but anyway, which was fine, because Alex and him were, like, talking for a couple minutes, because Alex got there, like, 5 minutes earlier or something like that. But anyway, yeah, and then we came home, and I took Boo Radley out, because the neighbors were out when I got home, and they were talking about the rain and stuff, and they could hear Boo Radley barking inside, and so I brought Boo Radley out to see them, because they were so sweet to him, and they're like, where's Boo Radley? Where's Boo Radley? And so he came out, and he came and saw them and stuff like that, and then I took him inside, and I got him some treats, and he ate, like, one treat, and then he, like, darted up the stairs to go see Alex, because he's so excited when Alex comes home. I took a Dr. Pepper. I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in quite some time. I took a Diet Coke to my appointment, and so I still have about a third of it maybe left. Anyway. Yeah, and tonight I'm going to take a shower and put on some comfy pajamas and watch some shows. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it out here. Well, the other side of the cushion isn't too wet. Oh, no, it's not wet at all, the other side, so I can just flip it. Is this pillow? Sometimes... Yeah, this pillow's a little damp. Only on one side, though. So, I can use the other side. And I can sit out here and watch my shows. I just love sitting out here and watching my shows. Last night... What did we watch on TV last night? Last night was Sunday. Oh, we watched RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars last night. And Untucked. Was there an Untucked last night? Yes, there was an Untucked. We watched both of them last night. And it was like the Hall of Fame episode. because we're doing this whole thing called the Hall of Fame for the people that have been like eliminated from the show. So we watched that episode last night. That was fun while we ate. Alex made a salad, and I had my piata, of course. Is this my piata coming? Hold on a second. It can't be here this quick. No. Oh, that's my neighbor. She was waving to me. She had Amazon package delivered, and I picked it up for her, so she'll probably be wanting to come and get it here in a second. But anyway, she's been out of town for like the last 3 days celebrating her birthday. They went to French Lick, Indiana, and then they went to Holiday World, which is like a water park, amusement park, and stuff. But they were going to the water park. She was real excited. They were going to her friend's lake house, her friend's family's lake house, so she was real excited about it. But anyway, she texted me like right after she left. She said, I just had an Amazon package delivered. Can you go get it for me? I was like, yeah, absolutely, sure. So anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so yeah, last night we did that, and then Alex went to bed pretty early last night because he had to get up early, and I laid down in bed with he and Boo for like a half an hour, and then I got up, and I watched the newest episode of, there's somebody walking down the street that I've never seen before. I watched the newest episode of Last Call, which is the true crime documentary that's based on the book called Last Call, about the gay men that were killed by a serial killer in New York City. American Horror Story kind of like took parts of this story and put it in their last season of American Horror Story. So I watched that. I would say the second episode was not as good as the first episode. The second episode focused on one person. Like, that part was interesting to me. And he was from Puerto Rico, and they talked a lot about like Latino machismo and like his family being ashamed of the fact that he was gay and things like that. And this family member of his, like this great nephew, I think, talked about his story in there. That part was interesting to me. And then it was interesting because I had watched The Stroll, which was about the trans prostitutes in New York City in the 90s. And one of the people, one of the women that's in that show, that documentary, she's also in Last Call, because she was friends with the guy that got murdered that they talked about because he was a prostitute in New York City. And they were talking about like the stigma that was associated, and the New York City police didn't really want to help with the case, and they didn't, like the New Jersey police were like the ones that were dealing with it, and the New York police didn't really want to get involved because it was like because it was a person of color, and it was a prostitute that was working at the Port Authority and things like that, and so there was like this huge stigma, and they didn't really want to like help out or deal with it at all, which is so sad, right? I mean, I think it's a lot to do with why like the gay men that were killed by Herb Baumeister, like many of them were never found, and many people never, you know, reported them missing and things like that, because what's going on with this person walking up and down this? They keep on walking up and down the street, and they're talking on their phone like they're looking for somebody. But like a lot of the people that were killed were never reported missing. I mean, until like 10 or 15 years later. So in a lot of the documentaries that I've watched about the Fox Hollow Farms and Herb Baumeister, like that's something that they've talked about, which was really sad, you know, that families are so upset with their loved ones, supposed loved ones, I guess, being gay, that they never report them missing or anything, you know. And so it's just, they just become a statistic, basically. I don't know, like a John Doe. It's very sad. But anyway, so I watched that episode. It was interesting, but part of it that wasn't as interesting was like they talked about a lot about the history of stuff in New York City, and it kind of reminded me a lot of just like having just watched The Stroll. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of like, a lot of this to me is like reiterating what I just watched in The Stroll. Of course, they're two completely different documentaries. Both of them are fantastically done, but I had just watched that, so I was like, okay, this is like, I know a lot about this, but it's still interesting when you hear about like the gay and lesbian, the violent, what's the group that they talk about? They have people that worked for this organization, the New York City Gay and Lesbian Violence Coalition or something like that, or Violence Project, and they were like really the ones that were like taking it. But like, I mean, when you hear about, they talked about Anita Bryant, they talked about, which, I mean, you know, like, historically to talk about. I mean, I know so much about Anita Bryant, you know, having watched so many documentaries and read so much about gay history, LGBTQIA plus history. I mean, I know so much about Anita Bryant and like how people were killing gay people in New York City at that time, like in the early 90s, and they would say things like, "This one's for you, Anita," and things like that, which is so sick. And that like at one point, like it had been like 6 months or something into the year, and like already like 150 LGBT people had been killed, like had been murdered in New York City, and that they called it like overkill because they would just like kill them to the point of just like pulverizing them, and like just, it was just disgusting. It was like overkill is what they called it. And this would be funny if my neighbor, so her friend that just dropped her off just drove away, so it'd be funny if she, oh, hold on a second, is this my DoorDash? This will be funny if she says something about her. My order has been picked up. My Dasher is on the way. I'm gonna have to stop this in a second because I can't even get out of here because the table is like right in front. Here, I'll show you. My table is like right in front. So I can't even get out to go pick up my DoorDash here, so I'll have to stop this in just a second when it gets here. But anyway, it's really interesting documentary. So I watched that, and then I watched, I can't remember what I watched next. Well, I talked on the phone for a long time last night to a couple different people, and then I watched an episode and a half of The Lincoln Lawyer, and the towards the end of the second episode was when I drank my cup of sleepy time tea, and then I started getting a little bit tired, and so I started watching the 5th and final episode that they put out, and I watched about I think it was like 5 minutes of it. It wasn't very much, and I was like, I'm gonna save this for tomorrow night so that I have something to watch tomorrow night. So I'm gonna watch that tonight. And I think Alex and I are caught up. No. We have a Real Housewives of Atlanta, so maybe we'll watch that here in just a little bit. But yeah, it was a nice night. Like after the rain, it was kind of like a little muggy, but it was like there was like a cool breeze, and it was like I even almost, I actually put on a hoodie last night. I like started getting cold, so I went inside and I got a hoodie, and I put a hoodie on here last night. Like it was like a nice night last night, nice summer night, and I don't mind a good summer rain, you know, like. It always reminds me of the movie Rear Window when Thelma Ritter, who was Jimmy Stewart's nurse, in the movie, that she comes and like, you know, helps him, changes his bandages, I think, and stuff like that, makes him lunch and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, in the movie, there's like a night where it's like a really horrible rain, and that's where he's like watching everything. And she says in there, I've said this a lot in vlogs because I love this part, she says, I thought the rain would cool things down, but it just made the heat wet. Like, I always remember that because in Indiana, like, if it rains and pours like this, like, it either cools things down, like today, like, it's, like, cooled things down quite a bit. Like, let me look and see what the weather is, the temperature is right now. It feels like it's in, like, the low 70s, honestly. And it was, like, in the mid to upper 80s earlier. But like in Indiana, when it like rains and pours in the summer, like it either cools things down. Oh, it's 65, it says. Oh my gosh. Mostly cloudy, feels like 65. Okay, what's it supposed to be tomorrow? 82. Wednesday, 85. Thursday, 86, and thunderstorms. Oh, she just texted me. She said, I'm home, obviously, haha, but don't want to interrupt if you're making a video. Let me text her back. Just let me know when I should come by. I'm going to say, let me finish. And then I'll bring it over. What was I going to say? So yeah, like in Indiana in the summers, it's funny because I must have leaned up against this last night because I went inside and there's like so much dust and cobwebs and stuff. And Alex goes, it looks like you have makeup all over the back of your shirt. I'm just going to lay right here. But I'm exhausted. I'm not really. I am hungry though. I am really hungry. But you know, like in Indiana in the summers, like the rain either like cools things down like it did today. I mean, 65 already, like that's crazy, right? It either cools things down quite a bit, or I hear a car coming and I'm thinking this is my DoorDash. It either cools things down a bit, or nope, coming from the other way, or it makes the heat wet, you know? And I have to say, I don't necessarily mind. Like, I like the coolness. This is a little cool for me. Like, tonight it's going to probably dip down into, like, the upper 50s and be a little bit too cold. So I'm going to have to put on sweatpants and, like, a hoodie and all that kind of stuff. I might even have to put on my heated vest tonight. But I don't mind that, like, when the heat's wet, you know, and it's kind of muggy outside and stuff like that. Like, I go back and forth and I say I don't like the humidity, I do like the humidity, I don't like... I mean, over February and cold and snowy, which is a good night to sit inside and drink coffee or hot chocolate and read a book or watch a movie, like, okay, fine. But, like, if I had to pick between hot and humid and muggy in the summer of Indiana, which is what Indiana summers are kind of like, versus, we've actually had quite a bit of rain. Like, this is a little bit more rain than we usually get in the summers here. Versus, like, there's some summers where it's, like, very, very dry. But if I had to pick, muggy, hot summer days or, like, February, like, cold, snowy days, which are very cozy, I think, you know, candles and all that kind of stuff, I would definitely pick a hot, muggy summer day. So, I always try to remember that, you know, when I'm, like, talking to my neighbors, I'm like, God, it's so muggy today, right? And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to remember that when it's February and it's snowing outside and it's gross and all that kind of stuff. Oh, a little bird over there. Hi, bird. Hi, bird. Did you grow up over there on top of our carriage light? Do you guys remember when we had the nest on top of our carriage light over there? Mrs. Birdie. Do you remember Mrs. Birdie? Boo Radley does, and he remembers her son Steve. That was his best friend. He's never forgotten Steve. He never will either. So yeah, so that's my day. It's a good day. I think I'm gonna actually end this now because, my food's gonna be here any minute. I know this is a short vlog, but I just want to jump on here tonight and say hi. And, I think, you know, some days more than others, you have gratitude for things and you appreciate things. Some days more than others. And today, because of such the positive response that I got yesterday, on not only on my Peter Monn channel, but on my vlog, and then today, all the support and the love that I'm getting, I just want to say, you know, I say this in my cameos, but I want to say thank you to each and every one of you out there for supporting me and watching my videos. I have such, you know, an amazingly charmed, amazing life. I get to get up every single day and do something I absolutely love. Make videos on multiple channels and do different things, and, you know, work from home. And I mean, it's not amiss to me that I have an amazing life, and that's because you guys watch my videos, and on top of that, you're so supportive and so kind and loving to not only me, but Alex and Boo and Tanya and, you know, and Melissa and Caroline and everybody. And I just want to say, and, you know, all of my family, I just want to say I really, really appreciate that. And even though I addressed today the small amount of people out there that make my life a living hell, the overwhelming amount of love that you guys give me is just incredible, and I want to say thank you for that. So with that, I'm going to get off here, and I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a wonderful and magical, I love that word, beginning to your week. And always remember, you can start your day over and your week over if you need to. But wait, we'll get to that in a second. And also, if nobody else has told you this today, glamour shots, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Oh, I meant to say, you can start your day over, you can start your week over if you need to too, so don't forget that. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Like I always say, you just might be putting a smile, on their face, you might be cheering them up, you might be making them happier, you might be making their day, you just don't know. And also, be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. And most importantly, be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. Be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more, because why? It all starts with you. And if you love yourself and you're kinder to yourself, then you'll be kinder and love other people as well. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. And I hope for a longer vlog, okay? I love you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Oh, and for those that want to hear it, and those that need to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, one more, I love you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.